What if I told you that the small engine repair industry has been quietly banking on one single thing? Your assumption that mower parts are too complicated to replace yourself. That the shops charging you $55 to $135 an hour in labor are counting on you never discovering that a $9 kit and 30 minutes of your time could replace what they'd bill you $85 for. The people who actually know this, the guys running aftermarket parts suppliers, the veteran techs like Ken Hinton out of Austin, Texas, who'll tell you straight up that DIY is always the less expensive choice. They've been watching homeowners hemorrhage money on basic maintenance for years, and they've been shaking their heads the whole time. Here's what most people miss. There are 5 dirt cheap parts kits sitting on shelves right now, ignored by almost every mower owner in the country, and together they can save you $400 to over $1,200 a year. And the one that lands at number 1, a kit that costs as little as $10, eliminates the single most overcharged repair in all of small engine service. But before we get there, I want you to know about the kit at number 2. It's the one that turned a $150 investment into what John Deere wanted nearly $200 to fix with a single part. One part. The savings on that kit alone will make you question every dealer invoice you've ever paid. Hit that subscribe button, because every week we post videos that put real money back in the pockets of homeowners who'd rather turn a wrench than write a check. So let's get into it. Here are 5 cheap mower parts kits that will shock you with how much they save. Ranked from surprisingly affordable to absolutely criminal not to own. Number 5. Belt replacement kits. The silent money drain hiding under your deck. A mower belt costs between $15 and $40 depending on whether you're running a walk behind or a zero turn. A shop charges $60 to $120 for the same swap. That's labor on top of parts. And they're not using anything you couldn't order yourself from Tractor Supply or Home Depot. The numbers don't lie. You're paying 3 times the parts cost just because belt routing looks complicated from the outside. Here's the thing. A quality aftermarket belt from a supplier like Oregon or Stens is engineered to match OEM dimensions, construction, and performance. Professional landscapers and garden machinery workshops use premium aftermarket belts every single day because the value is there without compromising reliability. Most mechanics will tell you to replace the tensioner at the same time. That adds $20 to $40 in parts but saves you from paying for the same labor again a few months later when the old tensioner chews through your new belt. Here's how to actually use it. Pull up your mower's model number, order the correct belt, snap a photo of the old routing before you remove anything, and follow the path. That photo is your cheat sheet. The whole job takes less than an hour even if you've never done it. One thing to watch for. If you go bottom dollar generic, you can end up with inferior reinforcing cords that fray within weeks. Stick with a name aftermarket brand and you're golden. Why does everyone skip this? Because the belt sits underneath the deck where you can't see it, and by the time it snaps, you're already stranded mid-mow calling a shop that's booked out 2 weeks into peak season when labor fees climb another 10 to 20%. That belt was probably sitting in your garage right now, waiting to fail. And the next kit on this list is even easier to overlook. Number 4. Recoil starter and pull cord kits. The $9 fix the shop charges you $85 for. Pull cord failure is one of the most common repairs on gas walk-behind mowers in the country. And a complete recoil starter repair kit, the rope, the handle, the rewind tool, runs about $9 to $15. A kit for a Troy-built TB200 comes in at $9.12. Meanwhile, one owner reported a local shop wanted $35 just to replace the rope, not the assembly, the rope. Every pro who's done this knows it. This is a 30-minute job that shops mark up by 300 to 400%. The kits come with everything, including a handle, starter rope, and a reusable rewind tool to wind that starter spring back into place. That spring is the only part that trips people up. It stays under tension while you work, so you respect it, keep your fingers clear, and you're fine. One customer put it perfectly. They fixed their 15-year-old mower at a fraction of the cost of an OEM part from the dealer. That mower had another decade in it. All it needed was a $9 kit and a half hour. Here's how to actually use it. Remove the starter housing, usually 3 or 4 bolts. Thread the new rope through, wind the spring using the rewind tool from the kit, and reassemble. The whole process has been saving handy homeowners hundreds of dollars for decades. Why does this get skipped? Because when that cord snaps, most people assume the entire starter assembly is shot. They don't realize the kit exists. And that assumption is probably sitting in your shed right now, attached to a mower that just needs a new piece of rope. But the kit coming up next saves even more. Number 3. Blade sets and sharpening kits. The maintenance task that pays for itself 3 times a season. A shop charges $25 to $35 per blade for sharpening or replacement. For a riding mower with 2 or 3 blades, that's $75 to over $120 every time. A do-it-yourself blade swap costs $15 to $50 total, blades and tools, no labor charge. A sharpening kit, a basic file or bench grinder attachment, runs $10 to $40, and that's a one-time investment that lasts for years. The testing backs this up. A blade can be sharpened 2 to 3 times before metal loss means it needs replacing. So one $20 sharpening kit handles 6 or more sessions before you even think about new steel. If you're starting to see the pattern, if you're realizing that the repair shop model depends on you not knowing what a $15 kit can do me a favor, hit that like button. It helps this reach people who are tired of overpaying for basic mower maintenance. And if you haven't subscribed yet, you belong here. Economy replacement blades run $8 to $20 for push mowers. Even riding mower blades top out around $30 to $80 for a full set. Compare that to a shop charging $40 for the blade and $80 or more for fitting it, and you start to understand why blade service is one of the most profitable upsells in the small engine business. Here's how to actually use it. Disconnect the spark plug wire, tip the mower or raise the deck, unbolt the old blade, bolt on the new one or clamp the old blade in a vise and hit it with your file or grinder at the factory angle. Push mowers take 15 to 25 minutes. Riding mowers 30 to 60. Why do people skip this? Because they've been told blade work requires special equipment. It doesn't. It requires a socket wrench and 10 minutes of patience. And that mower deck you just sharpened blades on, it's probably hiding a much bigger problem that the next kit solves. Number 2. Deck rebuild kits. The $150 package that replaces what dealers charge $700 for. This one hit the community hard. One owner posted a review after rebuilding an entire John Deere mower deck, 2 complete spindle assemblies, 2 mulching blades, 2 spindle drive pulleys, 1 deck drive belt, mounting bolts, and pulley nuts, all for under $150. John Deere wanted $192 for 1 mandrel alone. 1 single part. That owner's exact words. This was an experiment. The result? Everything fit perfectly, and they spread the word to their lawn tractor buddies. Teardowns confirm it. Aftermarket spindle assemblies from suppliers like 810 save 40 to 60% compared with dealer OEM pricing. A dealer charges $100 to $120 per spindle. An aftermarket assembly cuts that in half or better. And here's a detail most people never hear. Most mower decks have at least 2 idler pulleys. Those idlers are sealed bearings that go bad before the spindles do, and they cost less than $20 each. Bearing-only kits running $15 to $25 let you rebuild an otherwise good housing and shaft, cutting $65 to $135 off each spindle replacement if the original casting is still structurally sound. Here's how to actually use it. Match the kit to your mower's model number. These kits are model specific. Remove the deck, swap the spindle assemblies, replace the belt and pulleys, and reinstall. The mechanical steps are straightforward bolt-on work. A complete deck rebuild like this has been extending mower life by years for owners who would have otherwise spent $350 on OEM components alone, or $750 for a brand new deck. Why does it get overlooked? Because dealers want you to believe deck work requires dealer service. It doesn't. It requires a socket set and an afternoon. And your riding mower probably has a deck right now with 1 wobbly spindle and a squealing idler, begging for a kit that costs less than 1 dealer price part. But the number 1 kit on this list costs even less, and eliminates the most overcharged repair in the entire industry. Number 1. Carburetor rebuild kits. The $10 kit that kills the $150 repair. A DIY carburetor rebuild costs between $10 and $35. a gasket kit and a can of specialized cleaner. A shop charges $50 to $150 for the same job, parts and labor included. On commercial equipment, the gap is even wider. The carburetors on Toro 340s run $800 new. A rebuild kit for that same carb is about $50. Every pro who's done this knows it. Carburetor work is the single most overcharged repair in small engine service because the word carburetor scares people into writing checks. Most kits are designed for straightforward DIY installation. No shed full of fancy tools required. Some come with just gaskets and a diaphragm. Others are comprehensive: primer bulbs, fuel filters, spark plugs, fuel lines, all in one box. And here's the detail that separates the people who actually know from the people who overpay. The $20 replacement rule. If you can find a highly rated aftermarket carburetor for under $20 on Amazon or eBay, it is almost never worth buying a $15 rebuild kit and spending 2 hours cleaning the old one. Just swap the whole unit. That rule alone has been saving budget-conscious homeowners hundreds of dollars for years. Here's how to actually use it. Remove the air filter housing, disconnect the fuel line, unbolt the old carb, and either rebuild it with the kit or bolt on the new aftermarket unit. Spray the jets and passages with carb cleaner, replace all the gaskets, and reinstall. Using fuel stabilizer during storage and running your mower until the tank is nearly empty before winterization prevents most carburetor corrosion failures in the first place. So once you rebuild it, basic storage habits keep it clean for seasons. Why does this get skipped? Because the word carburetor sounds like something only a mechanic should touch. It's the single greatest bluff in lawnmower maintenance. And there's probably one sitting on your mower right now, gummed up, starving for fuel, $10 away from running like new. If you made it all the way to the end, you've just learned something most people never will, that the 5 cheapest kits in the mower parts aisle are the 5 most profitable repairs the shop hopes you never attempt yourself. $400 to over $1,200 a year kept in your pocket instead of someone else's cash register. Smash that like button if this changed how you think about mower maintenance. Drop a comment and tell me which one surprised you most. Team Carburetor Rebuild Kit, Team Deck Rebuild Kit, Team Recoil Starter Kit. I read every comment, and if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell so you never miss a video. I'd love to have you on this journey with us. Remember, sometimes the best repair shop isn't the one across town with the $60 an hour labor rate. Sometimes it's your own garage with a $9 kit and a socket wrench waiting for you to save yourself a fortune.